I love that.
Press the button, Freddy.
I didn't know no better, and when I did know better, I choose to do better.
Yeah. We back. What's good with the clapback gang? What's good, choir gang? Y'all know who it is. Y'all know who it was. The silence clapback can't beat it. If you know better, go better. If you knew better, do better. This is a clapback show. We ain't gonna be no hoe. We finna go and get on with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Get into these Mississippi crooked cops, man. You know, I went down I guess one of them towns down there in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? They said it's the sundown town area and shit, but they got a whole police department that got shut down, man. 2 of the sheriffs and all the other police, man. The whole department, all of them arrested. Bro. Crooked, doing bribery, man. Got their hands involved in rugs and money. You know what I'm saying? They out there touching, moving around rugs and money. They got rugs and money coming here and going there. I said, damn, man, this is the life of a whole police department, bro. The whole police department, my God. I mean, damn, I ain't never seen it. My town now. I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna do a story on that one day about that. You know where I'm from. Not the whole police department, but the chief wife, and a couple more police. They all had got popped and they went to jail. They got arrested. They were tied into a meth lab smuggling ring. They was doing some meth smuggling, and the chief police, he was the main cooker. He was, you know what I'm saying, whipping up the meth, and his wife was sleeping with the inmates. You know what I'm saying? They was getting deals cut, like getting their cars washing, house clean for a little bit of, with a bunch of crooked stuff going on. So this reminds me of the situation of my hometown when I see something like this. But like I said, it's just, that's why it ain't no surprise to me, but it's crazy. Like I said, this is Mississippi, man. I can't remember what town it is. They're gonna let us know, but yeah, let's go and get into it. Yep.
A lot of information to get to you, and at the end of that, we're going to take a few questions, so don't worry. But we're here today to talk about some incredibly serious allegations that mark it's just a monumental betrayal of public trust, is what we're talking about here today. We're here today to announce the indictment and arrest of 20 individuals, most of them law enforcement officers in the Mississippi Delta region. The indictments generally allege the taking of bribes to attempt to aid and abet drug trafficking, as well as associated crimes. The first indictment that I'll talk about involves a conspiracy whereby law enforcement officers and their accomplices are alleged to have agreed to provide safe passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, and ultimately on the last of those runs into Memphis itself. And they did this in return for bribe payments for money. They are also indicted for related firearms offenses and, of course, individual counts related to specific runs throughout the Mississippi Delta. Indicted in this conspiracy are the following individuals, and when I'm giving you this list of places of employment, a lot of them are still employed, or were up to today, in those places, but the places I'm referring to where they're employed, that's really during the times that are relevant to the charges in their indictment. So indicted in this particular conspiracy were Brandon Addison, who's a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Hollandale Police Department and the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office at times relevant to the indictment. Javari Howard, a Mississippi law enforcement officer employed by the Metcalf Police Department and later, during the course of the investigation, the Hollandale Police Department. Milton Gaston, the elected sheriff of Washington County, Mississippi. True Ron Grayson, who was employed by the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office. Bruce Williams, who was the elected, or is at the moment, the elected sheriff of Humphreys County, Mississippi. Sean Williams, who was employed by the Yazoo City Police Department. Dexter Franklin, who was employed by the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Wendell Johnson, who was employed by the Bolivar County Sheriff's Office. Now, I want to take note on this particular name. When you see the indictments themselves, you're going to have 22 names. I'm about to explain why we're telling you 20 people are now charged. And so this next individual who appears in the indictment, I want to make this very clear.
20 people?
Based on information obtained today, the charges against Amber Holmes have been dismissed. She's no longer charged in this case and is no longer implicated in any wrongdoing related to this investigation. The remaining co-defendants on that first indictment, the large one, are Marcus Nolan, Hassan Roach, Jeremy Salas, Torio Chaz Wiseman, Pierre Lakes, and Derek Wallace. The first four of those individuals I named escorted alleged drugs on runs on a run to Memphis. And likewise, the last two persons I named, Mr. Lakes and Mr. Wallace joined the conspiracy on a trip that was taken by a number of the co-conspirators to Miami, Florida. A separate indictment charges a conspiracy as follows. It's essentially the attempt to aid and abet the transport and distribution of illegal narcotics in return for bribes, related offenses regarding the carrying of firearms while doing that, and that the crux of that indictment was the transport of what the defendants thought were 25 kilograms of cocaine through the Mississippi Delta. And those defendants are Jamario Sanford, who is employed at the Greenwood Police Department, Marvin Flowers, who is employed at the Sunflower County Sheriff's Department. And again, this is the second of those names I mentioned to you. You'll see in an indictment the name Taquana Rucker. And again, based on information obtained today, the charges against Miss Rucker have been dismissed. She's no longer charged in this case and is no longer implicated in any wrongdoing in this investigation. A further indictment charges Martavius Moore, who's a police officer in Greenville, Mississippi, with aiding and abetting the transport of what he thought was 25 kilograms of cocaine and carrying a firearm, of course, during that. Marquavius Bankhead was a patrolman with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. And he has been indicted, and he's no longer with the Highway Patrol. He has recently resigned from the Highway Patrol. He was indicted for, again, aiding and abetting the transport of 25 kilograms of cocaine, or what he thought was that. Chaka Gaines with the Greenville Police Department was again charged with attempting to aid and abet the transportation of narcotics, essentially to traffic drugs through the Delta, and was likewise charged with a firearm offense related to that. DeQuarian Smith with the Humphreys County Sheriff's Department and the Isola Police Department was likewise charged with conspiracy to aid and abet the possession, transportation, and distribution of illegal narcotics. Finally, and this is always important to say at one of these, I'd remind everybody present that an indictment is just that. It's an allegation. that indictment, those allegations have to be proven in a court of law. Everybody in this country operates under the presumption of innocence, and nothing's changed about that. That being said, there's an 18th century philosopher, writer, you name it, he did a lot, named Edmund Burke, and there's a quote that is often associated with him. And that is that the only thing necessary for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing. And I am before you today profusely thanking the good men of the FBI, because they'll tell you a little bit more about the investigation itself, but this was a years-long investigation. This wasn't anything that happened overnight. They invested a lot of time, a lot of resources into conducting a very thorough investigation that continues today. And I cannot thank them enough. The work put in by Assistant United States Attorney Robert Mims has been phenomenal. And I just appreciate the fact that good men and good women are standing in that breach to try to restore confidence in our law enforcement.
It's gonna take a whole lot of breaching and a whole lot of restoring to fix, repair that, to make y'all look good, to make the whole Mississippi area look good, look even decent again. It won't, because that's kind of like where we at, where my hometown is at now. Like, we still frown upon, like in the police department, you still got people that distrust, and you know, it's always like something going on afterwards. Like, and with me, you know, of course, me being from that town, I witness it. Like, it's always like the police that come after, the ones that get fired, the ones that come after, couple of them be doing some crazy stuff or something odd. And it's just the whole staff, the whole police department ain't to be trusted no more, man, after that. It just kind of like tarnishes. But, you know, it got a time where we, you know, by us, we on the long street of polices, you know what I'm saying, not doing nothing negative, nothing bad, but they have been. It's just not as bad as what's around the world, you know. So shit. Oh no, this right here, this is deep. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Where all of them, all the polices and the whole police, you know what I'm saying, department get arrested. Some new shit. This is just some new stuff for me. But it proved that it's happening.
Enforcement agencies in Mississippi. And at this time, I'm very much honored to invite Deputy Director Andrew Bailey to make a few comments. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, FBI Deputy Director Andrew Bailey. I am present here today to support the mission of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and to enhance the cooperation and coordination with our proud partners at the United States Attorney's Office. And I want to emphasize that my presence is to underline the importance and the magnitude of this case. This operation and these indictments are a success, but they point to a troubling reality. We're talking about 14 current or former law enforcement officers, 6 co-conspirators who are alleged to have sold out the public, promoted crimes that they should have been investigating and stopped, and instead of working to stem the flow of dangerous controlled substances, the evidence will show they took bribes to facilitate the distribution of controlled substances. They betrayed the trust that the public placed in them, disgraced the badge, and undermined the hard work of good law enforcement officers across this state and across the region. This corruption permeated all levels. It extended across multiple counties and multiple jurisdictions in the state of Mississippi and beyond. But the Department of Justice and its subcomponent, the FBI, will not allow the wrongdoing and wrongdoers to get away with it. We will stop these kinds of disgraceful and shameful abuses of public office, and will prove that we will not tolerate corruption amongst America's criminal justice system. I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of the FBI Jackson Field Office and the incredible work they did leading this multi-year complex investigation. I want to thank members of the SWAT and HRT teams for their professionalism in apprehending the suspects, these corrupt officers, without incident. I want to thank our state and local partners
So
for
they got
supporting
all of them.
this team
All of
effort.
them is arrested right now. It ain't like some just sitting waiting to
I
go.
want to thank the Criminal Investigation Division's
You know what
Public
I'm saying?
Corruption
Waiting to be
Unit for
apprehended.
leading these efforts. I want to thank the United States Attorney, Clay Joyner, for his partnership in this endeavor, and Attorney General Bondi and the entire DOJ for their leadership and guidance in these matters. This administration has worked tirelessly to support the FBI's work across the country, and we are grateful. As to the broader significance, public corruption is a crime against the entire community, against all citizens, and against the rule of law itself. It leads to the loss of trust in law enforcement and erodes the justice system, thereby endangering citizens. Mississippi communities deserve better. The American public deserves better. Let this be a lesson for those sworn to serve the public that if you're a good law enforcement officer, the FBI will always stand with you. But for those corrupt individuals who abuse their office, we will come for you and hold you accountable. To all Americans listening, the FBI will never stop protecting from these kinds of abuses of authority. Thank you for being here today, and I'd like to turn it over to the head of the Jackson Field Office, SAC Eichhoff.
Pretty much,
Robert.
he probably ain't finna say too much more, but what the first guy just said, that's crazy, man.
Work with rigor, and we
For Bud bribery, for Rugs bribery, like, we ain't talking about no small rugs, we talking about they had their hands on everything. Man, but it's stuff like this be happening, bro. All around the world. It's just when they get caught.
do it with a mindfulness of doing the right thing the right way. They did that. I want to thank the United States Attorney's Office, and specifically noting the Acting United States Attorney Clay Joyner and Robert Mims for the work that they have done over the years, working shoulder to shoulder with us on this investigation. And for the United States Marshal Service for their support in this extraordinary arrest operation today. I want to thank Deputy Director Bailey for his attendance. It goes to show the commitment at all levels of the FBI to ensure that we are holding to account all public officials, but especially law enforcement officers. There's a trust prescribed to those who wear a badge. We as a country have heard many instances of that trust being violated, and the FBI is committed to ensuring that we are holding people accountable to the law and to their oath, and earning and maintaining the public's trust. I want to thank the Public Corruption Unit at our headquarters. Without their support, without their enduring commitment to supporting us, we would not have been here today. To the Critical Incident Response Group, who houses our HRT, our Crisis Management Unit, and many other units that were needed to support an operation of this scale, this magnitude. And then the multiple field offices and their SWAT teams, their hostage negotiators, and their tactical operational specialists that helped us man this operation. So with your help, we'll continue to ensure that people who work in positions of public trust will serve the public and not themselves. I call on all American citizens that if you are aware of, if you're experiencing any instances of corruption, please report that to the FBI. You can contact us at 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at tips.fbi.gov. Thank you.
At this time, we'll take a few questions.
Jackson Advocate newspaper.
Yes, ma'am.
Will there be another roundup of people? Because the sheriff in Sunflower County said that he's expecting some more people to probably be picked up.
Okay, so if there was, that's certainly not something I would say out loud right now. So that's the answer to that.
Mr. 2 indictments sort of connected? Were they part of the same broader conspiracy, both sets of indictments, or were they kind of individual?
So the indictments are divided up by the people who engaged together in a course of crime for the conspiracy indictments, and you've heard that there are a number of indictments of individuals who were charged. And so and again, I apologize because some of you probably can get frustrated with my answers because we're not going to go into a lot of specifics about the case, obviously, or the methods used. But as SAC ICOF has already told you, what happened here is the case started, the genesis of the case was people, oftentimes some criminals who, when arrested, they were complaining about having to pay bribes to various individuals. And when the FBI followed up on that, lo and behold, you found out that was the case. There's
Yeah,
the
bro.
large conspiracy of those people that acted in concert at different times with each other for that purpose. The smaller conspiracy that had 3 people listed, that's now 2. That was again those people acting and just basically wherever the facts and the evidence led, those were the people that ended up being involved in the investigation.
Mr. Joyner, Martin Staunton,
Yes, sir.
513 Memphis. I've heard Deputy Director Bailey and the Jackson Field office and yourself say that these officers were transporting what they believed to be drugs. Once you were tipped, did you guys set up a sting to catch them, or were they really working for drug dealers?
I think you could probably characterize
really
it as a sting, but again, the original complaints that began the investigation were from drug dealers. And of course, we're not used to carrying around 25 kilos of cocaine dealers.
Did you guys set up a sting to catch them, or were they transporting what they believed to be
being involved in
Hey, shout out to this to the reporter that's asking this question, man. You got a good question, man. This show like that.
the investigation?
Mr. Joyner, Martin Staunton,
Yes, sir.
513 Memphis. I've heard Deputy Director Bailey and the Jackson Field office and yourself say that these officers were transporting what they believed to be drugs. Once you were tipped, did you guys set up a sting to catch them, or were they really working for drug dealers?
I think you could probably characterize it as a sting, but again, the original complaints that began the investigation were from drug dealers. And of course, we're not used to carrying around 25 kilos of cocaine in a briefcase to, play around with on investigation. So we did what we did to close the circle and determine if they were actually doing this or not, would be the answer to that.
Can you say when the investigation actually started? You said it was years ago.
It's years long. I don't have the date in front of me right now, but it's a very long investigation. It's been going on for several years.
How large were the bribes?
Some individual. When the indictment is made public, you'll actually see some of that in there. But some individuals got $20,000. One individual got $37,000 and change. So there were some significant bribe amounts. Yes, sir.
Whistleblower Project. I love the corruption that you all are doing. Who holds the law accountable when y'all break the law?
Well,
I work for the Department of Justice, and I reported corruption within the Department of Justice, and nobody has gotten back with me. I haven't had any investigations. I was illegally terminated with falsified medical records. I was offered $300,000. My whole family has been ruined. So when you all speak of corruption, who holds you all accountable when you all break the law?
Various and sundry inspector generals, for one. For instance, if you were to, and so I apologize, I don't know the facts of your individual case, but if you were to come to the FBI with anything resembling a credible allegation that, hey, Clay Joyner, I bribed him, he took money, I fully expect the FBI to investigate the heck out of me if they find that accusation to be credible, as they would with anybody. Would be the shortest way for me to answer that. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Would you guys characterize this as like a network of bad officers, or are each of these guys kind of working in their own?
Well, what you'll see in particularly the conspiracy indictments, that's what a conspiracy implies definitively, is a network of people working together for a common purpose, and here we've already identified what that common purpose was. So yes, to a degree, there's a network, and for instance, I would say that within that network, again, without getting into too much detail, for instance, on that large-scale indictment, the last 6 names that I read, well, that's what we internally refer to as the Memphis crew, because when those drugs got to the state line, those folks were recruited by someone who's already in the conspiracy that knew those folks would do that, and so that's how they became added on, because they were a member of one of the conspirators' network.
Can I do a follow-up? Would you say that is there a cartel or a gang group or anything like that is feeding these drugs in, or is this case-by-case basis?
Well, I think, okay, so, yeah, there's gang activity in the Delta. I mean, we all unfortunately saw what happened in Leland.
They're right there, man. But anyway, man, y'all know who it is. Silence Clapback can't beat it. If you know better, go better. If you knew better, do better. Gonna get ready to slide over to another live stream at 7:30, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it to YTB Fat, man. Hope to see y'all over there, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm up out of this thing, and I'll holler at y'all in a couple minutes. All right.
Guess what you fuck? What was you saying? Don't stop acting tough. Your partners ain't sliding. I guess you done had no damn boo-hoo. Now blow out his mind. I'm back on this money. She call it a grind. Put your life on the line. Looking his eyes, you can tell that he's scared, but they ain't ready to die. Gang get an order. Them soldiers don't stand by them 762.